As Obasanjo have come out to blast Tinubu government, he said that Tinubu is ineffective and incompetent for the office of the president. We are all victims of his bad government. Never reinforce failure. This government is a failure. Never reinforce failure. That means don't vote for this same government again. Because tell me why in the first 4 years of this same APC government, you have experienced the worst insecurity in Nigeria. We have experienced the worst poverty rate in Nigeria. We have experienced the worst out of school children in Nigeria. Because tell me why people can no longer afford to go to school, even federal school, even public school today, government school today, people cannot even afford it anymore. This is the rate at which these governments have destroyed Nigeria, and they are saying don't reinforce this failure again in the next election. This is Obasanjo saying this. This is a warning to Nigerians. Don't reinforce failure. There's someone said that Tinubu government trying to deny P2B access to Nigerian people by intimidating institutions to reject his intellectual engagement media group, because we all know that P2B have blessed lives in Nigeria more than the current government. P2B, from his own personal money, has blessed more lives in Nigeria more than our government. Do you know how much P2B have donated to schools? Is more than the one that the government have donated to school. Because tell me why the government are not even investing in education, in health, in agriculture, nothing. They are all focused on how they can use money to win their way into the next election. Now, Obasanjo is saying don't reinforce failure. That is, don't vote for them in the next election, because even Paul Enche came out and said, or Paul Suleiman came out and said that in the first 4 years of Tinubu government, he have done nothing but to destroy parties in Nigeria, that we should not vote for him. This is advice that Paul Suleiman told Nigerians, because it's alarming that in your first 4 years in office, there is nothing you can say you did for Nigeria that can guarantee you win in the next election. There is nothing you can hold on now to boast of that you have done for the Nigerians that will win in the next election. Rather, you are trying to use money to win your way. Because time when you are buying SUVs, building houses for judges, because you know what you intend to do in the next election. Meanwhile, let me get your views in the comment section as well. The video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. I'll see you guys in my next video.
The point is this: when you have an ineffective and incompetent government, we are all victims. And don't let anybody deceive you. Those of you who are in business, your business will have been better today if we have a competent and effective and performing government. It will happen. As I said, giving excuse, we met many challenges. Now, if there are no challenges, then you wouldn't need to come. Huh? If there are no challenges, you don't need to come. And you come in because you know that there are challenges. And then giving us excuse that you have many challenges, that's why you haven't achieved result. And then you still want to go. The first lesson I learned in my military training is never reinforce failure. What we have now is failure.
First 4 years, somebody did nothing. You want to vote for him again. People are suffering. Then what do you want to come back and do now? What we have is a broken down system. Today, to travel in Nigeria, you have to pray and believe God for safe journey. Get one thing right. Nigerians are not asking for too much. If you can't get power, give us security. If you can't give us security, let us be able to buy things cheap. Just do one. Don't vote for them. Don't be shocked if this new week now you read them attacking me online. No. There are people abroad today who are not abroad because they want too many wealth. It's because they want safety. That's why somebody can leave medical doctor and become a taxi driver abroad. You are laughing at him, but it's under an atmosphere that is safe. He wants to be able to go out and he's not worried that he'll be kidnapped. Today, to travel in Nigeria, you have to pray and believe God for safe journey. Is that a country? Don't mock them when they're abroad. How can somebody leave this place and now go there? It's safe. I interact with people as I travel. They'll tell me, say, Apostle, I don't like this place I'm in. I want to go back home. Say, but I'm safe here. I don't want too much. I want to be able to go to the farm and come back. I'm safe. But that's not what we have now. What we have is a broken down system. Most of you are not in politics. Get involved. Again, how can you get involved when people have now occupied your space? You can't be local government chairman unless you're in a clique. local government chairman or chairman of local people. They will pick you. It's not by election, it's by selection. They will pick you. It's corrupted. If people rig themselves into power, let it be clear that they rig, not that you voted for them. First 4 years, somebody did nothing, you want to vote for him again. First term is when people really work. If you fail like this first term, what are you coming? All this nonsense. Performance is the best form of campaign. You didn't perform. That's why you have destroyed opposition, doing all kinds of, because you fail. Is it a spell that you can't talk? Are things good? From $460 to $1,500. See, fuel. Then what do you want to come back and do now? What are you coming back to do? See, some of us now, they are going to a news house to analyze what we are saying. But years ago, when I was speaking against Jonathan, they were clapping for me. These same people, when Chibok girls were kidnapped and I was speaking that Jonathan, you failed, release it, they were clapping because they were attacking every just to lay hold on power. That's the truth. You failed the class, you want to come back again. You fail, go. You go. Get one thing right. Nigerians are not asking for too much. If you can't get power, give us security. If you can't give us security, let us be able to buy things cheap. Just do one right. Light, zero. You even have solar in the villa. Don't be shocked if this new week now you read them attacking me online. No. Don't be shocked. Don't worry, forget. We have conquered media, forget. When you talk, you go rest. People are suffering. I open my phone now. I see your messages. I don't have that resources to attend to everybody. Legit, people are hungry. I see my phone, everybody's hungry. People can't travel, they can't go anywhere. Kidnap is not a business. What are you campaigning? You vote for them again. If you rig yourself, let the judgment be on you that you rig. But don't vote for them. Are you following what I'm saying? Don't vote for government that empowers people to kill you. If you go around the world, like I do, the anger, everything is working. Anywhere this government does well, I praise them. Are you aware? Anywhere they do well, I praise them. So I'm not a politician. I say things the way they are. 1 December, they subsidized transportation. You see what I said on the altar here? I said, this is good. My own, if it's good, I will talk. It's bad, I will talk. I'm not in a party. I'm not an average Nigerian that once they hate you, there's nothing good you do. If you do well, come out, I will commend you. When dollar dropped and naira came up, I stood on this pulpit. I commended them. I said, now they are doing well. Also, when people are being kidnapped, I will come here. I will talk. When people are hungry, I will speak. It is no bias. It's so that you could step up. So far, you have failed. So far. It's not bias. The other ones that call themselves opposition is even more terrible. Because everybody wants to lead. Nobody wants to step down. Everybody wants to lead. You're even asking yourself, where are we going? I'm not standing anywhere. I'm standing on what is right. But I believe God. I don't know how God will do it. But we will be alive and see a Nigeria of our dream. We will be alive. And 1 a.m. people will travel and nobody will hurt them. It's not just about prayer. God will raise up people somehow that would access power and show people what and requires to live in the same country.
Give us your considered analytical assessment. What's your take on that movement and the potential significance that it has at this point?
Yeah, I'm very happy that these groups of supporters are coming together. Not with the support of the potential presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate, but it's been organic.
Indeed.
So you see them appointing their coordinators from states to zonal and then, of course, national. And what we'll be canvassing is transparency in their actions, especially when it has to do with financing, and then, of course, the ability to be able to maintain the rhetoric that will resonate with the public. Because, what had happened in the last elections, led to lots of people, saying that the obedience were too harsh in their rhetoric. And then, of course, you would have heard Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying that, look, he hardly, reads social media because of the way it tends to be too abusive in terms of political
Obviously,
rhetoric.
it's not just the obedience.
Yeah, not only them, but tend... if you look at the way the president was talking, you know that that's where he was pointing at. But nonetheless, you've also had very harsh rhetoric coming from the president's supporters against the obedience. And then, of course, they had to fight back. And so this time around, the tone of the rhetoric that should come out of the OK movement, like they are saying at the moment, should be something that's based on, political discourse that actually brings out the best for the country. Why do you think that a potential Obi Kwankwaso ticket will do better than the incumbent? And then what exactly are the issues that you're advancing that will be different in terms of policies in terms of the politics itself within the ADC or whatever party that they eventually choose to go to. And then, of course, why should Nigeria actually give that ticket a chance? Because these are the narratives that we're counting on. Not just coming to say, okay, there's corruption or others in mainstream political parties are not good, or, just pushing aside the APC that they don't matter. Now, in the last elections, Obi had been saying that, the issues of structures were corrupt structures. But now he's been, faced with the realities that you can't become president without having those structures. And the supporters have seen the importance of having structures. That's why you're seeing them coming together to say that, look, even if Obi wouldn't want to have structures himself, nonetheless will serve as the backup to whatever political structure that will be coming up. And I really love this because it's a handshake across the Niger. You're having people who politically, over the last 10 to 20 years, have been apart, coming together. If you listen to...
So it's a hopeful sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hopeful sign, and I'm really happy for it because there's some sort of healing that's coming within Nigerian politics. Because if you look at the rhetoric that comes from the East politically and the rhetoric that comes from the North politically, actually it's not been healthy in the past 2 decades. And so if people can organically arrange themselves and promote a ticket that maybe even Obi and Kwankwaso are not even talking about at the moment, I think it's something that's very good. And I will encourage this sort of organic support to come out of the APC, come out of maybe PDP if they're able to solve their problems or so. Because it mustn't be about the political actors, but it could be about the aspiration of what their followers think is the best for the country. And so set an agenda for the potential candidacy of an Obi and Kwankwaso and say, see, even if you do get this ticket, it's not about you. It's about how we want our country,
indeed,
to be in the future.
Right. So, I mean, you mentioned the president a number of times there, and of course the APC. The president has been meeting the APC governors. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but let's round off with the Peter Obi bit, because you were telling me earlier Peter Obi was in Bauchi today meeting the governor Bala Mohammed, who I'm told now describes himself as a freelance
politician.
What is your reading of all that?
Very interesting perspective, and it reminds me of 2022 when I was in that company of Obi where we went around the country, myself with him. The very first place we went to was Bauchi, where we had to even visit the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, mausoleum. And, some of the visuals about Obi, whenever I take a look at them, I'll see that very first act that Obi took, going around there and then seeing him going there today again, but this time around not going alone, not going with a few people. When we went there in 2022, Obi was relatively unknown, though the governor hosted him then. But now, Obi was going to the same state, and this time around, going with huge, political weight, and then very strong politicians. I saw the likes of Ben Obi there. The former... Abia State Senator, Senator Nyenanya Baribe, and some very top, leaders from the Southeast there, including our own professor who, you've been featuring here. You will see that delegation was actually very, very strong. Very, very strong. And I'm thinking that the rhetoric that will come out of that meeting will be something that will help to forge an alliance between the North and the South, especially the Southeast. Build bridges more, and then help, to reduce this tension, this friction that we've always had. Look, Charles, the best political alliances that we've always had in the country between the North and South have always been between the North and the Southeast.
That is true.
From the First Republic...
So that's people like Shagari and
in the First Republic, we had Nnamdi Azikiwe, with the Ahmadu Bellos of this world and Tafawa Balewa. And then in the Second Republic, we had Alex Ekweme alongside, Shehu Shagari, having that ticket. And then, even when we had Buhari, 2003, he tried to actually bring, the likes of the former Senate president, and then you also had Okadigbo, and then you had Umeo Zoke, the former speaker, also
But
being
even
given the
Atiku,
opportunity.
Atiku Abubakar also had the same
So
sort
you
of
see
alliance.
that, there's always been that arrangement there. If
Right.
you look at Atiku Abubakar's political philosophy too, he's always had, the likes of Ben Obi around him. And then I watched an interview recently where Ben Obi was saying that in the past, Atiku Abubakar would come and spend his Christmas period in the East. And, those are the kind of mature politics that
Right.
we need at this moment, not the kind of rhetoric that comes out and it looks like Nigeria is going
Right.
to war, and then some people are saying that, look, the Southeast will never be given an opportunity. When I
Right.
saw Peter Obi at the government house in Bauchi, I was really happy because he was received, wholeheartedly. And then Bala Mohammed saying he's a freelance politician now. I mean, no team is willing to sign him at the moment. APC hasn't signed him.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent, a free
Right.
moral agent. PDP, I mean, is scattered, and
Right.
ADC too is not been able to settle it.
Well,
So,
let's just, I don't
a
mean
good
to interrupt
outing.
you, but we've
Yeah.
literally got a minute or so left. The president has been meeting with APC governors. What was the substance of that meeting?
well, he clearly stated that he doesn't want a rancor, primaries. So
Right.
he's asking for a rancor-free primaries, asking them to go back there, and then for the party to, take any measure that it can in terms of whether adopting direct primaries or the issues of consensus. Because APC has come to realize that the issue of consensus will not play out in all states. And so the best way to prevent political tension is to actually embrace the idea of having direct primaries to resolve some teething issues, because some of the politicians are saying that they prefer to be defeated than for them to have someone imposed. You would have seen what's happening in Ogun State at the moment, where Senator Yayi is actually facing lots of opposition, despite the fact that President Tinubu has agreed that he should be the APC governorship candidate. Potentially there's a consensus. Look at what's happening in Nasarawa too with Ahmed Wadada. You see that there's a problem that consensus cannot solve. So the best way would be to go to direct primaries and resolve those issues. But for states where there's a huge consensus, then of course the president will be able to have his way, the governors will have his way. But overall, what he said is that the governors must be allowed the opportunity to, have their way in terms of the tickets for the senatorial and House of Reps,
Right.
because he cannot impose automatic tickets for Senate and House of Reps on these people when the governors are there. And I think Mr. President, is trying to be highly political here to safeguard his own interest, because his election will come first before that of the governors.
Don't reinforce failure. That's what Obasanjo is saying, because this level at which people are hungry in Nigeria is alarming. I mean, people can barely feed in Nigeria as of today. If you are earning 100,000 naira in Nigeria, believe me, you are not earning enough, because the economy is not even equivalent to your salary. Because just take when you buy food, or let's go and buy foodstuffs, you know how much is a bag of rice, you know how much is 1 cup of rice, you know how much is oil, you know how much is all these foodstuffs, then you can buy it, then you know that 100k can barely feed you just for food in that month. So how do you pay for electricity? How do you pay for house rent? How do you pay for school fees? How do you pay for maintenance? How do you pay for all these things from the same 100,000? This is why they are saying don't reinforce failure in the next election. Because the APC government, like Obasanjo said, they are inconsistent, they are incompetent, and they don't have, I think Obasanjo said something about how Tinubu government cannot even fight insecurity, but they want to run again in the next 4 years. Because I believe that before you can run again, that should be something you should boast of that you have done. There is nothing that APC government today can boast of that they have done for Nigerians that can guarantee them the next win in the next election. Nothing, not even one thing. Education sector is bad, health is bad, agriculture is bad, security is bad. I'm talking about the basic needs of Nigerians are not being met. There is no electricity in Nigeria. There is no good road in Nigeria. There is no security, which is the most important thing from a government. That is none in Nigeria. Instead, our governments are forgiving and pardoning 700 terrorists back in the community. Our government are forgiving terrorists instead of arresting them and putting an end to insecurity. Rather, they are collaborating with them. Sheikh Gumi have told us that the government knows these terrorists, so why are they not going to arrest them? Our NSA have said that these people are our brothers. Our defense minister have said that they are prodigal sons. You will see that all those that are meant to arrest and put an end to insecurities, they are They are romancing the insecurity. They are even working with them, that they are our brothers. Sheikh Gumi, I would say that we should learn to live with these terrorists that terrorize us every single day. Every single day, people are being kidnapped, asked for ransom, intimidated, people are being harassed, people are being flogged, and they post them on social media for us to see that they have people they are tormenting, and our government are busy pardoning those same terrorists. Meanwhile, guys, let me get your views in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. I'll see you guys in my next video.